Good morning, everybody. Hello, Zimbabwe.
Hello, Zimbabwe.
Hello, Africa.
Hello, Africa.
Yes, and hello, the world.
Hello, the world.
Mr. Stola, how are you this morning?
I'm doing well, Mr. Chitenderu. How are you doing?
Well, it's been a while. We've not been, doing podcast. It's a week now.
Yeah, we last did last week Thursday when we were talking about brand design. So today, maybe we're going to do something a little more close to home than people are used to.
Man, this subject of today is very critical, especially if you are a startup. Maybe if you are an established business, you've gone through these phases and stages. So I think for those that really want to get into business, you would really relate to what we're going to talk about today. For those that have started successful businesses can also look back and relate. And I believe it's a very important subject matter that needs to be delved and indulged in, because we really need wisdom.
Okay, so what are we talking about today?
It's about marriage and entrepreneurship.
I know pizza.
Because you're starting up, you're struggling. You hardly are making ends meet. But there's a marriage where your full commitment, dedication, and resources are needed. And the business is crying out loud, saying, hello. I need attention here because I'm still starting. I'm a baby. I need milk. So it's really something, my brother. I don't know. Maybe I'm the only one who is going through such kind of phases or has gone through such kind of phases. Maybe you're comfortable. Help us.
Yeah, this is a very challenging topic because as a business owner, you have so many responsibilities and you need to be focusing on your business most of the time, especially when you are still starting. And you also have a wife who also needs that same attention.
Yes.
So how do we balance? Zimbabwe, how do you balance focusing on the business and focusing on your spouse and trying to make sure ends meet while you are keeping the romance alive?
Now, before we get into that, you remember we talked about the logo and its importance. We tried to examine and interrogate. Up until we got to a point where we really understood that we needed a logo. You need a logo, in fact, to be pivotal in your business and its importance and relevance. Then you remember we went for a business meeting somewhere in Harare, where we realized that, and for sure we need this kind of podcast because, man, there's really something else.
It's something else, man. And business owners out there, we really encourage you to take advice from the experts. When you are hiring someone, you're not hiring them to tell them what to do, but you're hiring them to tell you what to do. And that's the challenge that we keep facing when we go to see clients and they think they know better.
It's like you are a robot. Do this, move up, down, left, right. You're like, really? Your business is struggling. That's why you called us. We are the people to help you, not the other way around.
True.
Yes, we need your money at the end of the day, but we're not there to get it first. We're there to help your business grow. True. It's about relationships, man.
Yeah. And this topic of logos and business, it's very much closely related to what we are talking about today. You might think, why are we talking about logoing when we are talking about relationships and entrepreneurship? But a business and its owner, there's also a relationship there. That's why it's called a a private limited company. That means it has its own voice, it has its own people, it has its own heartbeat.
Exactly.
And the moment you take a business like it's you, that's when you find yourself putting your hands into the cookie jar and taking funds out of the business.
Exactly that. You kill a chicken, but you want to eat a cattle.
Exactly.
It doesn't make sense, man. I think that's why we talking about marriage and entrepreneurship, because you realize that you need to invest in the business. But there's a wife who has a certain kind of life she wants to have,
that she aspires to have.
So you end up having $5 logo just to get by.
Yes.
Establish, and you don't really care about the business, but you want to milk it when it has no potential to do so. It's struggling. It's an infant, but you're expecting results of an adult. So I think there's a marriage between logo, what we're talking about the logos, and the topic of today, that we need to understand that we need to invest in the business first. Yes. Before we can talk about anything else. Yeah. It's a tough decision, it's a tough call, but you have to sit down with your wife and talk about it. That we're going to eat, but not now.
Not now. Well, you always point out to the example of Strive Masiwa when he convinced his wife for them to sell the house.
Tell me, you're struggling to pay rent, then you get a house.
And then you convince your wife to sell that house, to invest into the business.
Who doesn't know an African woman wants her own place, man?
My God.
It's traditional. They want their own space. Yeah, finally they have it. No. They have to sell it for the business, man.
I wonder if we could have Strive on our podcast, and we could ask him that question. How did you manage to convince a woman to go against her nature? How? Because possible? Naturally women, they love to be pampered, they love security, they love to know that they're taken care of for years to come. And you're going to remove all that from her.
When I was in a relationship, there I was told, I don't see you taking care of me in the future. I think we ought to call it quits. I'm like, really? Do I look like I'm nobody? Just like that. So, women love their security, man. It comes first. Even their parents. That's the first question. I know it did. I got
business. I'm in a business. I know money as well. Yeah, and it's tough, man. It's tough for us entrepreneurs. You have to be selling to your wife each and every day. Yeah. The moment you're coming out and you're going to work, you have to sell.
Somebody told me, I think at one point in time, this, businessman. He said, Bridal, what you need to do is look for a business for your wife that she can do that brings money on a daily basis. That doesn't involve a lot of planning, a lot of, focus, etc. But that generates money on a daily basis, like a tuck shop or something that keeps them busy. Okay. Because you need to focus on the bigger picture, but you can't do that when that bigger picture is also that business.
Yeah. So you're saying you can't build a business when survival is your full-time job?
No, you can't do that. It's impossible. Man.
So you have to get the basics done first.
I don't know. It's how God has created us, that we as men, we tend to focus into the future, but we forget that, there's today.
Yeah, and them they focus on madomaza kudiwa nasi.
Yeah.
Wana udama diaper.
Don't think it's not important, man.
It's very important.
Because for you to get to what you see, you need today. And today has to be well catered and cared for.
So how as an entrepreneur, how do you balance that aspiration to grow, and you also have to be taking care of the family?
I don't think we have actually managed to overcome that. That's possibly why, number one, we're discussing this issue. But we are getting there. I would say the first important place you have to be as a couple is to understand where you're headed. You need to come to a place of dialogue where you talk about these things. She has
without any feelings.
Yeah.
Which is very difficult.
Yeah, you have to get into a space.
They're very feely.
I was laughing this other day. I said, a man is taught to suppress his feelings his whole life. And he doesn't know that marriage is going to change that. When he gets married, a woman is told to suppress her logic, but express her emotional side. So you're getting into a marriage where that which you were told to suppress
doesn't work. It can't.
And it's coming in its fullness.
How come to
not
you?
from you? Well, it's come so I there's a statement I always say, I know you know it, that warume awatsamwe vanoviringika.
As you're trying to understand how do you respond to her, and she wants an answer now.
And because when we plan as men, we plan also considering and putting into factor, resources. If we're saying we're going to Mtare, we plan also what needs us to get there. So now when a lady comes in and they feel they want to go somewhere different from where we're going, though we end up there, it's startups. Maybe if you make more money, you're like, oh, it's okay, baby, it's alright. Because there is,
just get
for
the
that.
card,
It's fine.
You can just swipe.
It's okay, I always laugh with him, and we say, if you haven't gotten to that point where you say, it's okay, it's alright, baby, it's alright, man, you're struggling.
It's hard, man. It's really hard, especially when you're a small business. It's hard, You're trying to reach out to clients, and sometimes they don't have money, so they don't want to see you. They don't want to talk to you, and when you get that one client, they want to, negotiate the price down so that you get the least amount of money possible.
And there you are, trying to cover all your expenses and bills and whatsoever it is, that baggage and home, pressure on that one client. And at the end of the day, it's nasty. It's nasty.
So maybe one of those fine days we're going to bring maybe one successful business person that we can interview and get some nuggets on how they manage to balance marriage and business, because it's tough, man.
It's really tough, because I always say we can comment about it, but we're not authorities. Authorities are those that have lived and passed through such pressures and overcome. Such are authorities. We are still in there getting burnt. And, we're still trying to negotiate our way out of such situations and possibly end up successful. But it's a difficult journey. Yeah. But it can be done. It can be done. I think ladies or wives, you should understand that we're not fighting you. We're trying to build an empire. Where you would come and say, baby, can I have another? I will also say, it's okay. Because the money is there. Yeah. But before we get there,
there's a journey.
There's a journey. Sometimes you have to you have to buy, you have to overlook, I'll use that word, lack of better words, you may overlook certain things that you love, you value.
For the sake of the business.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I also think that's where most businesses of entrepreneurs and marriages, they suffer. A lot of marriages, they're not able to sustain their relationship through that process because the wife has her needs and she wants to spend all the time that she can with you, and you can't because you need to focus on the business.
She's like, go to work, man.
Yeah,
go to work. But
But that's the time to actually say, baby, what time is your meeting tomorrow? Let me make sure that your lunchbox is set. Well, is your suit ready?
Yes.
And everything. Yeah, that's the time to really support
We're
us,
trying to break the mold, man. Because we're coming from a background where their parents were employed. So they feel security is in employment because you're guaranteed of your paycheck at the end of the month. But Zimbabwe now is a bit tricky because you can even go for 6-7 months without pay.
Yeah, it's tough.
And it's really difficult. And you cannot bank on retirement. That's why you find politicians getting employed at 70, 80 years. Man, it's tough out there. But if we really encourage entrepreneurs, those that feel they can bring change and innovation, then we allow there to be a working economic environment that encourages such kind of a lifestyle that guarantees, people to retire and rest, and enjoy their sweat. And if we fail to understand that entrepreneurs is the new industrialization, we will fail to realize that these people are very important and they would actually help into transforming the perception of, I would say the old age and how they now feel they've been shortchanged, by the system. So it's important that if you have a husband who has a business, all he needs is your support. It may not be working out, doesn't mean to say he's out. You remember the guy who made the light bulb? He succeeded in the thousandth time. Man. That guy,
I can imagine with a wife, man.
Man, that guy, I'm sure he was single by that time. Because 1,000 times like you're a complete failure. And you keep on trying and people are like, is he okay? Is he okay? It's madness.
And it actually brings me to think of what there's this Indian billionaire called Naveen Jain, and he was speaking at this TEDx conference, and he was saying we can't focus on conservation because the populations, they are growing each and every year. 50 years ago we were maybe 3 billion people. Now we are more than 7 billion people. Almost 7.5 now. So we can't focus on conservation but creation, which is where entrepreneurship comes in.
Exactly.
We need people that can build things for humanity.
Yes, true.
So if you're still thinking about, I want to go to work, I want to find a little job, you have to focus on entrepreneurship. And when you get into entrepreneurship, you're going to face this challenge that we're talking about, where you have to balance your marriage and the business. So I think this is a very important topic that we need to really dig deeper into the future.
But I would also say, Mr. Stoller, entrepreneurship is not starting a tuck shop or whatever, selling clothes or bear or
Go deeper.
It's not that, man. I don't know why people think when you start your own thing, you're now an entrepreneur. No. These are people bringing innovative changes that help
solutions
that help you
that move society forward.
Yes.
Yeah.
Tesla guy, they're bringing in innovations, man. That's entrepreneurship. If you don't have such kind of, of a vision. General dealer.
That guy is deep, man.
General dealer. General dealer.
They sell everything. Those Teslas and Amazon, they're doing big stuff.
Exactly. They've moved away from...
And we have big problems in Zimbabwe that need solving, We have roads that need to be, resurfaced. We have a challenge with, food security. We have a lot of challenges that if we have more entrepreneurs in Zimbabwe, we'd actually have something to speak of.
I would say we need, technological entrepreneurs, those that are able to manipulate technology to make life easier.
Yeah.
For the masses or for whoever it is, we need such kind of entrepreneurs. People who make information easily accessible to be able to do whatever it is that you want to do, in a normal day setup. We need such kind of innovation. We need people who don't take us back into that archaic kind of environment, Stone Age, but that bring us to an understanding of the future. And help, like you said, with 7 billion, but we now need clean energy. We now need people who come in and deal with what is it called? That when global what is it called?
Global warming.
Yes. Yes. We need people who are quite innovative, bringing in the right energies, doing the right things, and innovation being the center and focus. Then I'm not talking about Mtengesa Mango. Kwakanaka zvako. Your family will survive, but you're not an entrepreneur. You're not an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
You're not you're a vendor.
Just a sole trader.
Yeah. You're a trader. There's a difference.
You can't hire people to do that.
No. We may succeed in doing that, but it's not going to change anything unless if you're telling me that
it just changes your life.
Yes, unless you're telling me that you've identified a certain nutrient in mangoes
that can be incorporated in foods.
Exactly.
In rice, in potato.
Now we're talking. Now we're talking.
Yeah.
Zimbabweans, we brag. And we speak a lot about how educated we are, but I don't get it, and I don't see it in our day-to-day lives. We only brag about education, but I don't see this implementation. The country is struggling. There is no innovation, but we're saying we are so literate. I don't know what it means anymore.
So what's your take home regarding marriage and entrepreneurship? What do you think? What's your advice for men, and what's your advice for women?
Well, for men, I would say you have to find a way. Like I've mentioned earlier, that you need a business that keeps your wife occupied.
And the family sustained.
And sustained, yes.
Yeah.
So that you have enough time to focus on the bigger picture.
Okay.
You cannot do that without first looking into that. You cannot become successful anyway without first looking into that. So to wives, you need also to support your husband. That's God's order. You cannot, say, I've seen a problem where, because for a long period of time women feel, and for sure they have been in a position of suppression, yes, where they felt like second-class citizen and inadequate. Now that the system is promoting women to take on leading roles and and so forth, so you find a woman in this era has better opportunities than a man has. So you find there are now challenges in the home place. The guy is saying, I'm focusing on something. The woman is saying, I'm the one bringing in the bread. And yet you claim to be the man. In other words, I'm the man, you're not the man. So we're now having, struggles in homesteads.
In the home, yeah.
Yes, because of that. So women, you need to understand that God's order is not foolish, or it's not old school. God's order brings about balance. It brings prosperity. In the family, yes.
For every promise, there is actually a reward.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Reason why, how we are built, a man and a woman, we're different. God built a man to focus on the bigger picture.
Yeah.
And he's crafted in that way. He's created in that way. That's who he is. And a woman is made in such a way that they're supposed to support. Now, support doesn't mean to say you are lesser than the one you're supporting. It means to say you have capacity.
You actually have the most important role.
Exactly.
Because without that support, nothing happens.
Nothing happens. You have actually got the capacity. That's why I find a woman, when you give her a sperm, she gives you a child.
Yeah. She can nourish.
Exactly.
She can incubate.
Yes. It's in their nature that if they buy into the vision of a husband, that's why I said we need to strive down. And ask him. Look at where he is.
How did he do that?
Look at where he is now. British citizen, living abroad and big.
Friends with Obama.
Just because the wife
with Richard Branson.
Yes, the wife simply, it's okay, baby. Sell the house. Sell the house. She then incubated where they are now. That's what the powerful woman. I always equate it to the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit, man, is indeed. You need him. You need him. You cannot do without. Yes. You cannot do without him. You need him. He's huge. It's the same role that a woman plays in a marriage or in a husband or in a husband. I would say.
So you mean that the greater her career and her success, the more the capacity she has to support the man's vision.
Vision. God. The reason why it was because of creation that God had to, say this guy is going to become the vision carrier. It's because of order. There is need for order, and order brings about stability and prosperity.
So it actually means that men also need to support the women in developing themselves so that they become better supporters of the vision, right?
In fact, it's
a man's
responsibility not to feel inferior. Or not to feel like, they have
to be excited.
Exactly.
Man, she now has a doctorate.
Woo, glory.
man.
Yeah, she now has got the capacity to help. So it's important that we know that, we all are not fighting one another. If we go back to the order of God, then you see prosperity in marriages. You see successful businesses. You see
and come to think of it,
families.
I heard this preacher once who said that prosperity is not money. Money is just a part of prosperity. He says prosperity is the ability to put everything that concerns you under your control. That's prosperity.
Wow.
Good stuff.
That's a mouthful. That's a mouthful. I would say, I know we want money. We don't need to love money because, money is not everything that you think it is.
It's just a pixel in a picture.
It's a way. It's a way of transacting, but it's not the intended goal. So somehow we are now putting value on that mode of transaction rather than what really should be the value, which is each other, valuing one another, valuing our marriage, valuing our visions, valuing each other's love for another. That's what's more important. That's why sometimes you have to, relax a little bit. We're gonna eat. Don't worry. You will not die because people fast. You will not die. You will not die. Just hold on a little bit. Just hold on a little bit.
Believe in you.
Yes, there'll come a time when what you want is you don't need to think of having it. There are now resources enough to cater for that.
Financial freedom.
Yes, you don't need to think. I need to go to Mtare. Start thinking, how am I going to get there? Where am I going to get the fuel? But the fuel will be there because it will not be something that you're thinking about. It's already there. We all need to come to that level, but you don't get there because you've thought about it. You get there because you've put the right order. Yes, you've put the right order. You are doing the right things. You're disciplined enough to know this is what I need to do today. I don't need to eat this because this man is going to that. Up until we need to get into a culture of planting. Culture of investing, a culture of understanding that yes, we're buying these microphones. They don't feed my stomach, but they will feed a generation.
Powerful stuff. I'm not sure what you guys think about this topic. Let us know what you think in the comment section, and please keep listening to our podcast. We are going to be talking more about these issues that affect entrepreneurs and businesses as well as marriages. So just keep participating and sharing this podcast. We would love to hear what you think. So comment below and let us know what you think.
Zvakanaka kutambudzika izvozvo wozofara mangwana than kufara izvozvo wozotambudzika mangwana. Zvinozorwadza kuti wakura usina simba rekushanda ndopaoma upenyu. Zviri nani kuomerwa uchina rusimba kuitira kuti perinopera wakura unenge wakagarika mune zvawakashandira kare.
Wow, wise words there from Mr. Brighton Chitenderu. This is Tatenda speaking, and we are so happy that you are listening to this. Let us know what you think. Share this with as many people as you can. If you know an entrepreneur who is in marriage and they're struggling to make ends meet and their marriage is struggling, please share this podcast with them and let them know that there is hope in that each one of them has a big role to play to make sure that they get to where they want to be. Thank you very much, and we'll see you in the next one.
Coma, information for decision.